Got it. Sean?
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
It wasn't always like this. It used to be different.
I can only imagine. Standing here, I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, both of us, really.
They left me on ice. For 60 years.
They did. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role.
Sure.
I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
So it was you. You let me out?
Yes. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. An experiment of sorts. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you? Perhaps most curious to me, would you...
That's all this is to you? All I am to you? Just another experiment?
No, that's not all. But still... There are greater things to... The synths have been safely returned and will be I hope you weren't at too much risk.
Right? What do you mean, the synth?
Modifications will be made to correct the defects in... Not the first or last time. The railroad remains an annoyance, of course. And you, well, you've passed the test. Please, take this.
Sure.
It's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
Yeah!
Hear that?
Raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful.
Let's get this directorate meeting over with before we speak further. Well, it's important.
This a clean floor. Are your visual receptors malfunctioning? Can you not see the grime and dust?
My apologies, sir. I was issued a defective cleansing unit.
Don't make excuses. You're clearly defective, and I intend to report this. Perhaps after you've been disassembled, we can use your components
Good, we're
to make
all
something
here.
that's actually useful.
I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is she doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ao has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the increased activity around Fort Independence, but there are no immediate signs we should be concerned. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Sir, are you sure this is the time to be discussing it? Given, well, considering all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
I have no idea what that is.
I'll admit I'm relieved. It's intended to be something of a classified project, which I'm sure means everyone already knows about it. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw, many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
What kind of compromises?
We have at times had to rely on drawing power from above-ground installations. It risks, but no longer. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just ours.
Sounds like an important step.
That's...
Right?
The reactor is close to ready. But recent tests have determined we have a few, and to how you will help.
Sir.
Yes, Dr. Ao. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone. While I am not overly fond of putting my own mother in harm's way, she has...
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please. As I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
What?
Can't be
Please,
serious.
everyone, please. I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
This can't be happening.
I've had the same thoughts more than a few times, but we can talk more later. Right now, the Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best. To that end, I am naming my mother as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really?
Seems a poor choice.
How can you possibly justify this? She hasn't...
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my mother has already proven herself more. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
We don't usually welcome outsiders. I hope you can appreciate...
I had no idea.
I know this is... well, it's a lot to take in at once. I'm sorry, Mother. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
I can do the job.
Of course you can.
Sure.
There's no question that some of the Directorate and the Institute at large will need That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. Doctor, there are hard decisions ahead for all of us.
I couldn't be more pleased with Father's choice for a new director. Congratulations.
To be frank,
Dr.
I don't
Fillmore.
agree with Father's
Busy day
decision,
for you,
but
isn't it?
I'll accept it.
Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation, I'm told.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go over the... Recent events have upset our timetable. We're going to have to cut some corners. I'm not thrilled, but it means we'll need to rely on... You're going to the mass fusion building to acquire a beryllium agitator for us.
Consider it done.
I'll consider it done when I've got it in my hands. I'm going with you.
Is that really necessary?
Yes, it really is.
Sounds good.
Not as much as I'd appreciate coming back in one piece. But here we are. Not to put more pressure on you, but we have to move quickly on this. We don't want them getting the agitator before we... Head on up to the relay, and I'll meet you there.
Uh-huh.
You hear about the battle between the Brotherhood and Institute? Want a bunk of help? A bunch of us got killed or something.
Every conceivable good you could ever need is right here. If we don't have it, it's inconceivable.
Let's see what you have.
Peace, sister.
Cleo.
Don't worry. I only test the weapon.
Sure.
Murder and mayhem?
Sure is here. Guess we'll have to go through them.
For honor and glory.
No use.
Like that'll get us
Not without the card.
At least not without whatever card activates it. sign of the agitator. We'll have to search the rest of the building.
Calm down, Noel. You knew that this was coming. I don't understand why you're acting this way.
Don't tell me to calm down, Carl. When we started designing the beryllium agitator, you said it would be for the benefit of mankind. Instead, I find out that you have been planning on turning it over to the military all along. You lied to me.
Don't give me that high and mighty attitude. Have you picked up a newspaper lately? There's a war going on out there, Doctor. And if our side's going to win, it needs all the help it can get.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Since when did science start taking sides? What did they promise you, Carl? Money? Political favors? A goddamn medal?
That's enough. Like it or not, when the testing cycle is completed, I'm crating up the agitator and sending it off to Washington. Now, you have two choices. Either you can get back to work, or you can get the hell out of my building.
Nice.
That ought to do it. That should do it. Elevator ought to have power. That's it.
Right here!
There we go.
Power. Up. Protectron on duty.
I'm through.
Guess they weren't so good at mitigating radiation back in those days. Levels of
Now cycling airlock. Please wait. Initiating decontamination sequence. Decontamination complete. You may proceed.
sure you get back to the Institute with the agitator.
Combat initiated. Must be destroyed. By order of the Institute, you must be destroyed. Detected.
Allie, this wasn't really what I planned on doing today.
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalia are quite a handful. When are you going to tell me about this mysterious Phase 3?
You know I can't talk about that.
Yeah.
As long as you respect our rules and policies, you might just succeed.
All maintenance requests should be directed
Dr.
to
Fillmore?
facilities
I think that
division.
was enough excitement for, well... Thank you, really.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure the agitator gets where it needs to go. I understand Father is anxious to get you involved in something else.